Welcome back to the news at 10. The Kogi State Governor, Captain Idris Wada, says accountability will continue to guide his conduct if re-elected for a second term during the November 21st governorship election in the state. Governor Wada made this known while speaking at the West Zonal Campaign Rally in the Kaba community of Kogi State. The governor also commended the People's Democratic Party's efforts in sustaining democracy.
Hundreds of supporters and members of the PDP gathered at the Township Stadium in Kaba, Kogi State, as the campaign train of the party moved towards the state's southwest region. Party chieftains, including federal and state legislators, are present to support Governor Wada's second-term bid. Captain Wada, who was accompanied by Ondo State Governor Olusegun Mimiko, came into the venue amid cheers from his supporters. Some entertainers were also at the venue to thrill the party faithful. He urged residents in the state to remain committed to his strategic policies, which have improved socio-economic conditions in most local government areas.
To have a chance for us as a team to consolidate on many of the achievements we have laid down in the last 3.5 years. We are seeking power to work on continuing to transform the affairs of our state.
Also speaking at the gathering are former Governor of Kogi State, Ibrahim Idris, and Governor of Ondo State, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko. They say Wada has performed credibly over the last 3.5 years and urged voters to allow him achieve his vision of transformation.
We look at our governor in Kogi State. What are his priorities in the last 3 years? Number one, security. Without security, there can be no development.
As far as we are concerned, we believe in Kaba people. Kaba people are one world. They don't have two words. When they say this is where they are going, it is there they are going.
It remains to be seen whether or not the mass crowds at political rallies in the state transform to valid votes at the polls.
There was pandemonium in Festac town today when heavily armed suspected robbers attacked 3 new generation banks, carting away an unspecified amount of money. The robbers killed 2 people, a woman and her 2-year-old child, in their house which is behind one of the banks. Eyewitness reports say the robbers came into Festac town through the canal in a speedboat, shooting sporadically to scare away people in the vicinity before robbing the banks. They say the suspects wore military uniforms and they carried out the robbery, taking their time in a very fearless manner and later escaped through the canal. The police in Festac have confirmed the robbery, and according to the state police spokesman Joseph Ofo, the police later engaged the armed men in a shootout and recovered arms and 27.7 million naira, which was stolen from the banks. Meanwhile, security around Festac town has been tightened on the orders of the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Fatai Owusheni, while the Marine Police are said to have intensified their patrol of the waterways. The state police boss reassured citizens of their safety, promising that the command would do everything possible to arrest the perpetrators and bring them to book. A sad one there, but let's cross over to the world of business, and Anne Wawudu is standing by.
You first. First Bank.
Hello and welcome to Business News. In order to turn the Nigerian economy around, the private sector must be stimulated. This is according to Senator Udo Udoma, who was answering questions on how best to attract foreign direct investment in Nigeria during the ministerial screening at the National Assembly. He said the economy cannot rely solely on public sector, and to stimulate the private sector, an enabling environment must be provided for the private sector to thrive. Senator Udo Udoma was the former chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Less than 100 days to the end of the 2015 business year, Nigeria's most capitalized company, Dangote Cement, has continued its Pan-African expansion, birthing a few days ago in Tanzania. The new facility, completed in just 2 years, was the fastest ever of all Dangote Cement plants to be built on the continent and forms part of the grand plan by the richest man in Africa to become the largest cement maker, targeting some 80 million metric tons per year.
From Ethiopia to the Gambia, Cameroon, Zambia, and now in Tanzania, Dangote Industries, maker of the Dangote Cement, is expanding rapidly across Africa at a pace no other cement company has done in recent history, but at a time when Africa's growth prospects are being revised downwards. Aliko Dangote, however, says his Pan-African investments are more of the future than at the moment.
The only thing that we need in Africa to fuel the growth is to have infrastructure. And the raw material of infrastructure, number one, is cement. Here in Tanzania, in South Africa, in all the other 18 countries where we are, it's only purely cement. We'll go into other things later, but for now, we want to be very dominant in Africa, and we'll continue to do so.
This new $600 million Dangote cement facility in Mtwara, Tanzania, sits next to a 500 million metric ton limestone facility that could last 149 years, but setting it up surely comes with its peculiarities.
The most important is to have a stable underground for the factory, obviously, and then the quality of the mine. So the mine is where we see the most differences in building a plant.
The cement brand Dangote is heartily welcomed here in Tanzania as the East African country ramps up its massive road infrastructure program of 70,000 kilometers and looks to reduce its cement importation, says the president, Dr. Jakaya Kikwete.
Little did I know that when you put tarmac on the road, the base also needs cement. So the demand for cement is also ever increasing.
The CEO of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Oscar Onyema, says he is proud to see Nigeria's most capitalized company birth in Tanzania.
Dangote Cement, as you know, is expanding across Africa, and we are very supportive of the effort to expand across Africa because they represent what the exchange stands for, which is driving the improvement of the African continent.
Now the ribbons are cut, the inspections done, and the drums beat to the formal opening of the 3 million industrial facility that includes a jetty and a power plant.
At the Nigerian Stock Exchange today, key indicators reversed gains recorded on Monday, closing with an all-share index of 30,058.40. Bisi Adebayo has the details of today's market figures.
Hello and welcome to the stock market reports. The bears returned to the floor of the Nigeria equities market as key indicators reversed gains recorded on Monday. The all-share index slipped by 0.57% to 30,058.40, while market capitalization also dipped to 10.33 trillion naira. Market heavyweight Dangote Cement led 23 other decliners for the session, which also include Nigeria Breweries and UACN. On the other hand, investors favored the shares of all marketing stocks, with Seplat, Mobil and Okomo Oil in the top 3 category. Bank stocks remained the top volume drivers for this session, with Access Bank at the top with 15.53 million shares. When stocks crossed the finish line, investors had exchanged 124.24 million shares, valued at 1.37 billion naira in 2,930 deals. And that ends the stock market reports. I am Bisi Adebayo.
Thanks a lot, BC. Telecoms company Globacom is providing its subscribers with an extra special package that promises to be an early Christmas present. The promo announcement today in Lagos reveals that for every recharge made by the subscriber, the exact amount is credited the next day. And here is the catch: it is free. Our correspondent Orioluwa Shonibare reports.
For every customer in search of quality service, one thing they look out for is a company that is able to meet with their demands. And Glow Telecoms is one company that has been ensuring it meets the needs of each subscriber.
We have pioneered the launch of revolutionary second-to-none products and services at pocket-friendly rates. Some of these services include 3G, BlackBerry, mobile internet, and now the amazing promo details which we are about to unveil.
The company is reeling out 2 additional surprises to the already growing packages. The first is what the company described as the buy today, get tomorrow deal at no cost.
It's just something from Globacom to actually give back to customers and excite them. Whatever you spend today on your line is given to you tomorrow free of charge. No strings attached, no hidden charges. You just dial a short code to get into it, and by midnight, anything you have used the previous day will be given to you.
If you're in doubt of what you just heard, here is the access code that will put things in perspective.
Yeah, the code is *300#. Once you dial that code, you get a message telling you you've been entered into the promo. And then right from that moment, anything you use is accumulated, and then by midnight, it's credited to your line to use for the next day, absolutely free. The long-term benefit for the customer basically is, to cut their spend and then to reward them as well. Because rather than buy credits for every day, you have to buy for half the period of the buy, and then this is also a kind of reward to the customer.
And that's not all the telecoms company has in store, as this video shows.
Join us at the International Conference Center of Abuja, Nigeria on the 7th of January 2016.
All you need to do is text CAF to 3002, and with just 10,000 naira monthly, you and a friend stand a chance of gracing the Glow CAF Awards coming up in Abuja in January 2016. How your life turns out depends largely on how you make use of it today. And Glow Telecoms is making sure that you reap exactly what you sow tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Orolu Ashonibare, Channels Television News.
It was mixed sentiments today with the major equities around the globe. Let's take a quick look at the figures now. And that's it on Business News. I am Anne Nwawodo. Ijama will be back with the rest of the news at 10.
You first. First Bank.
Duffel Prama Foods, makers of Indomie noodles, has taken its corporate social responsibility a step further by recognizing and celebrating the Nigerian child. At the 8th edition of the Indomie Independence Anniversary in Lagos, the company rewarded children who displayed notable acts of bravery beyond all odds. Our correspondent Loretta Chogo reports.
Innocent Yamawo lives in the outskirts of Abuja, Nigeria's capital. The scars on his face and the ones hidden under his clothes will forever remind him of the sacrifice he made to save his 1-year-old sister. Perhaps the look on his face shows the pain of not succeeding in the venture, as the sister was already burnt beyond recognition. His courage and sacrificial spirit is what Duffel Prima is rewarding.
So I salute kids like Innocent, and I think from Duffel Prima Foods what we can do is, other than these awards, we will take care of his treatment, whatever.
13-year-old Amas Ibrahim, a Kano resident, takes the numero uno position for saving a mosque and worshippers from going up in flames. She had noticed a suspicious move by a woman near the mosque and called on some men in the community. On getting to the spot where the woman was, a nylon bag loaded with what the police identified as an explosive device was found and taken away. Naja Almasi, also 13 years, is an Abuja resident. Her act of confronting 2 robbers who had come to steal from her father's car has earned her a 3rd place in the Duffel Prima's award.
Nigeria, as somebody who's had the privilege of living and working here for 8 years, is full of heroes, as I know. And this year was no exception. From the children that we looked at, we had a very, very difficult task indeed. But I can assure you that we were totally unanimous in our decision in selecting the 3 winners and selecting them in the positions that they finally fulfilled.
While the first child carts away 1 million naira, the second takes 750,000 naira, and the third wins 500,000 naira.
Through these stories, we want to inspire the whole nation and our future generation so that they can also learn from these children.
Duffield Primer says so far 21 children have been awarded by the company. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Roger Federer crashes out of Shanghai Masters, and that's on sports. You join us now.